Week 19. Day 127, on cold exposure. Take cold showers first thing in the morning. As soon as you get up, jump in the shower. Close your eyes and turn the temperature to cold. Not just cold. Not ice cold. We just piped this water in from Antarctica because the penguins won't swim in it cold. Do this for 30 days in a row. I call it cold shower therapy because it, quite literally, is therapy. Joel Runyon. Doing a 2-month challenge of only taking cold showers was one of my first deliberate endeavors to improve my self-control. Unlike other goals that I pursued for the specific benefits that they would give me, my cold shower challenge was primarily about testing myself. During those 2 months, I learned a great deal about how to overcome temptations and how my own mechanisms of self-control work, and when they cease to function. I strongly recommend taking up a similar challenge to push your limits and toughen up. Is an entire month or two necessary to benefit from this exercise? Not really. Even just a few cold showers can be valuable lessons that will strengthen your self-control. Willingly exposing yourself to such a torture is something very few people are capable of doing, so this in itself is a great accomplishment. If your health doesn't allow you to take cold showers, and as a side note, please note that you should always speak with your doctor before making any decisions of such a nature, try other ways of cold exposure. Underdress in cold weather, submerge the lower part of your body in a cold bath, or turn your thermostat down. Voluntarily exposing yourself to the discomfort you feel when you're cold, no matter if it's a cold shower or something less extreme, will still be an excellent way to improve your impulse control and become tougher. Day 128, on principles. Principles are fundamental truths that serve as the foundations for behavior that gets you what you want out of life. They can be applied again and again in similar situations to help you achieve your goals. Ray Dalio. Do you follow a set of principles in your life? If not, it's time to design them and adapt them as an inherent part of your decision-making process, to ensure that you make better choices. For example, I have 10 fundamental rules that guide my overall life and many more that I apply to different aspects of my life. Here are 3 examples of my general principles that are applicable to every endeavor. 1. I never give up on anything that's important to me. 2. Time is my most important asset. I always focus on achieving more in less time. 3. Growth happens outside one's comfort zone. Security leads to mediocrity. These rules ensure that I live my life according to my most important values and help me avoid making decisions that favor instant gratification. For example, following the first rule means that if I establish that something is important to me, I won't give up on it, no matter what. Embracing the second rule means that I resist the temptation to do things mindlessly and always seek a more effective way of doing something. Living by the third rule means that I face my fears and resist the urge to stay complacent. This way, I'm always growing and reduce the risk of becoming too comfortable. These are not just mere words, I consider them as important as promises made to somebody else, so I need to fulfill them. What rules do you want to embrace in your own life? Make a list of your own fundamental truths that will help you get what you want out of life and treat them as agreements that you can't break. Day 129, on everyday practice. I mistakenly only associated the word practice with art forms such as music, dance or painting. I did not see dealing with a cranky child, an overburdened work schedule, or a tight monthly budget as actions that required applying the same principles as did learning music. Thomas Sterner. You can view everyday annoyances in 2 ways, as frustrating experiences or as opportunities to practice your willpower. A stranger bumped into you and didn't apologize? Practice your self-control by wishing him or her a good day. Your child is misbehaving and you feel like being a parent is sometimes too much to handle? Consider it an exercise in manifesting mental toughness. You have so much work to do and then your car breaks down, an unexpected bill comes, and a friend needs your help? Don't wish there were more than 24 hours in a day, Accept it as a challenge in improving your productivity so that you can get everything done on time despite new difficulties thrown at you from every direction. If you take advantage of every problem and look at it as a means of self-improvement, you will improve your self-discipline and mental resistance just by going about your day. Day 130, on working on laziness. If you are smart, but not lazy, work on laziness. To do everything, simply because you can, lowers effectiveness. Concentrate on the really important things that get amazing results. Do only the few things with greatest benefit. Richard Koch. As contradictory as it sounds, some self-disciplined people need to work on laziness to get to the next level of personal growth. Just like it takes discipline to work on the hard things, it also takes discipline to resist the temptation to work on unnecessary things. For example, as a self-published author, there are countless ways for me to promote my books. I dabbled into different marketing methods, but in the end had to limit my focus to only the few things that offered the greatest benefit. Doing everything would have perhaps portrayed me as a more hard-working author, but it wouldn't increase my effectiveness, and most likely would only reduce it. Restlessness can be a good thing to inspire a person to take action, but if it leads to mindless work for the sake of work, you're wasting your potential and resources you could have spent on another area of life where increased effort would have led to noticeable improvements. Periodically assess tasks you perform most frequently and ask yourself if you're not only exerting willpower to keep working, but also showing restraint when it comes to performing tasks that add little or nothing to your life. Crossing off unnecessary tasks from your to-do list might feel good, but it's just another form of instant gratification that ultimately compromises your long-term objectives. Day 131, on building an ark. It took Noah 20 years to build an ark. And people said he was being silly because the skies were beautiful. And of course, the whole time, he looked stupid, until it started raining. You can spend a long time building an ark while everybody else is out there enjoying the sun. Peter Bevelin. Your efforts to improve will draw criticism or ridicule from people who don't care about self-improvement. It's possible you'll spend a long time doing things without a reward and start wondering whether your goal makes sense. Is it worth it to spend several years working so hard to get a degree, build a business, or move up the ladder in your company while others are partying and enjoying their lives on credit? During the process you might face doubts and even feel tempted to give up. However, 5 or 10 years from now, the ones who are wasting time will get the short end of the stick when they realize that they wasted their time on ultimately meaningless pleasures. Now they're in debt, worried about how to pay their bills, and doubting that they'll ever have a successful career, while you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. Whenever you're in doubt, remind yourself that you're building an ark and that rain will come. Maybe now you aren't enjoying yourself as much as others are, but in the grand scheme of things, it's better to be prepared and suffer a little now to prosper in the future than live in sweet denial and one day realize it's too late. Day 132, on being willing to be bad. To get good, it's helpful to be willing, or even enthusiastic, about being bad. Daniel Coyle. An expert is a person who has made all of the most common mistakes in their field and learned from them. They embraced being bad so that they could get good. For example, in rock climbing I noticed that if I stick to routes that are within my abilities or only slightly above them, I improve less quickly than if I climb routes that are well beyond my current limits. Sometimes I make a fool out of myself because I can't even start the route, and sometimes I surprise myself when I climb 50%. Or sometimes even 75% of the route before it defeats me. The great benefit in climbing such difficult routes is that I make many more mistakes than when I climb easier routes. This is good, because it reveals my weaknesses and gives me more opportunities to learn. If you only stick to routes with easy holds, you'll never learn how to properly climb when the holds are no bigger than your fingertip. If you only climb on routes with easy footholds, you'll never learn the proper footwork that a route with sparse, slippery footholds requires. It's tempting to climb routes within your abilities because they make you feel good and capable, but ultimately it's nothing but instant gratification. It's the hard routes that will defeat you that teach you the most in the long run, even if you hate climbing them at the very moment you are doing so. If you only set easy challenges for yourself, the ones that will never make you look bad or show you your deficiencies, you'll hamper your progress or even bring it to a halt. Overcome the temptation to lower your bar. Come up with difficult challenges, the ones that make you doubt you'll succeed, and get to work. Get as bad as you can now, so that you can become as good as possible in the future. Day 133, on self-caring. Self-discipline is self-caring. If we feel ourselves valuable, then we will feel our time to be valuable, to organize it and protect it and make maximum use of it. M. Scott Peck. The way you look at what self-discipline is can affect how self-disciplined you are. If you think of self-discipline as punishing yourself in return for some possible benefits in the future, how likely are you going to be eager to maintain it in your life? Instead, what if you embraced self-discipline as self-caring, a way of manifesting that your time is valuable to you and that you want to make the most of it? Now, instead of seeing every temptation as something pleasant that you must avoid for the possible future benefit, you'd look at it as a threat to your well-being. For example, upon adopting this outlook on life, you'd understand on a deeper level that watching TV for hours on end is not entertainment, it's killing your valuable time, and in the case of low-quality TV, killing your brain cells. And the other way around, things that you currently consider torturous, such as waking up early, eating vegetables, saving money, expanding your comfort zone, and so on, would all become manifestations of self-care. You'd understand on a deeper level that waking up early makes you more productive, and consequently, creates more time and energy for you, even if it isn't always fun.